our first 10-minute interview with Gary Williams. Hi Gary, many thanks for joining me on our first business profile online video, which is fantastic. The first question I'd like to ask you is how did Ambience Catering Solutions start, and most importantly, why?
So Ambience Catering Solutions, we started in 2013. I got to a point in my career where I got a bit bored, and it was time really for me to say, right, what do we do? And it was then I decided to set up my own catering company.
Oh, okay.
So we started then as an event caterer. So we're doing your buffets for your corporate events, private parties, funerals, that kind of stuff really, and then we just sort of grown from there.
Right, okay. And what's been the most successful part? The sort of buffets or the sort of funerals and what?
So the buffet side of stuff gives us our day-to-day income, really. So that's on the funerals, the parties, that side of stuff. But the most successful part for us is the corporate events, and also your weddings, that kind of stuff. So the sort of high-profile catering events, really.
Fantastic. In such a short space of time, you said obviously since 2013 anyway, the business has really grown. How did you sort of achieve that, and what drove your commitment?
So for me, it was commitment, sheer commitment to the cause of setting up my own business and being successful in business. So for me, it was just sheer dedication to the bigger picture of where we want to be and where we're going, really. And that's how we've built the business, and it's by providing customers with a quality service and quality product to achieve the quality events that they're after.
You've recently got married. Congratulations. Obviously, how did you keep those balls juggling in such a stressful time, and obviously organising your own wedding and keeping the business going?
So, as I say, thank you very much for that as well. But for us, we plan weddings on a regular basis. So for me, it was fairly straightforward. However, my wife was the big backbone to that. But for the critical decisions to be made on the venue, the food, and the general layout of the wedding, we made the decision quite early stages, and then it was down to my wife really to organise all the last little bits.
Well, it's generally down to the wife. It's generally to sort of do that. I remember with my wedding, it was right. Okay, well, we're going to organise the actual function room, and I'll do that and organise the taxis and everything. But the rest of it is yours. What sort of food do you want?
Yeah. So for us, it was just deciding on those key points. We did keep it fairly relaxed. Actually, our wedding, we just had the barbecue really.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so, and it was really nice.
Was it like hot barbecue? Was it like a?
Yeah, well, it was just hot barbecue. So it was all your sort of kebabs, fresh fish, lots of vegetables, that kind of stuff. So yeah, no, it was really nice.
Oh, fantastic! Slightly different as well, you know, rather than having the sort of indoor sort of.
Sit down.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, we've met before exhibitions and a few networking events. How important is networking in growing your business, and obviously growing your business, and what you want to achieve? What do you want to achieve from networking? So,
on the networking side of things, we have done a number of, or we do a lot of networking. And event side is what broke us into the market. We were asked back in early 2014, I think it was, to do a networking event at BMW Chandler's at Hailsham.
Yeah.
And it was really that kind of opened our door.
Yeah.
We'd met a lot of people for all these breakfast clubs and lunch clubs and that kind of thing over the course of 6 months.
Yeah.
But to finally be able to put my food in front of those people was a big moment for us, and opened so many more doors for the business.
Yeah.
So network has a lot to blame for the success of our operation here.
Yeah. What exhibitions are coming up soon that you're going to be doing as well?
Exhibition-wise, we're going to be at Let's Do Business Brighton, Let's Do Business Eastbourne, and Let's Do Business Hastings. And we also do a lot. Year on year, we've grown into those. So we did one. Year 2 we did 2, year 3 we're doing all 3 of them.
Right, okay.
And then we also do a lot of wedding fairs.
Right,
Lots of wedding fairs, that kind of stuff.
Right, okay.
So, yeah.
Where do you cast your net? I mean, how far out are you sort of looking at and doing?
So obviously we're based here in Eastbourne and Hastings area, but we cover the whole of Sussex. So we do have customers in Crawley, and we will travel to Ashford, Maidstone, and again across the sort of Worthing, Chichester direction as well. So we'll do basically cover the whole of sort of Sussex and most of Kent.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. What's the plan over the next sort of 5 years for Ambience?
So my ideas for the next sort of 5 years of Ambience are to get a number of key locations. So we're looking at cafes, maybe a couple of restaurants, also continue and grow the outside catering side of the business. So there's sort of lots of avenues really that we are exploring even at the moment to set us up for the next 5 years. Right. But for me, as a sort of personal goal in that time, I'd like to be able to take a holiday.
Would be nice, always nice.
Again.
Yeah.
So there's lots going on. We want that growth really, just to get us to a point where we're in a comfortable position. And be able to look at more options.
You've had how long have you been here at Eastbourne Borough Football Club?
So we've been here at Eastbourne Borough Football Club now for 1 year. We've just completed our first year of trading. Fantastic. Which has gone really well. And we are now looking at other options in the next few months, hopefully.
Right, okay.
So,
cool. I love cooking myself, and I've done the whole City and Guilds sort of college thing I have. And I'm constantly trying to create that perfect dish myself. What is your favourite perfect dish to create for functions, and what really goes down well with customers? Or what's your favourite perfect dish that you like doing, or you and your wife like eating as well?
So, I was going to say my personal favourite dish is roast dinner. Because there's so many different elements to it, and to get it all ready on the plate at the same time, all hot, tasting good, smelling fresh. That's my sort of highlight dish for myself to eat and cook. I like seafood. Worked in a number of seafood restaurants over my time, and really enjoy cooking with fish and just allowing the flavour to speak for itself, really. And then for functions, it depends on the style of function, obviously. So we do lots of canapes and that kind of stuff. So for your sort of larger sort of networking functions, marketing events, that kind of stuff, then it's down the canapé route, which are all the mini individual little bite-sized pieces, which people really love.
Fair amount of us, some of these pictures, and they are very, very tasty.
Thank you very much. And then for your sort of 3-course meals, again, I love lamb, shoulder of lamb, that kind of stuff. So lamb's one of my favourite sort of meats.
I can't get my wife to eat lamb. For some reason, she just thinks it's always too fatty. I remember when I ever cooked it, I've cooked it down. It's succulent, it's soft, but she's not a big lover of lamb. But what tips could I have to cooking the perfect bit of lamb?
For lamb, obviously, it is a fatty meat, and it is that long, slow cooking, depending on the types of cut. If you go down to sort of rump of lamb, then quite quick. There's not a lot of fat actually cut through the meat. But other cuts of lamb, it's that long, slow cooking to render that fat down.
Right. Okay.
So it's not there.
So is it good to be able to put lamb in a slow cooker? Can you? Because obviously there's certain. I've got a nice slow cooker at home, and I've done the beef in it. I've done the pork. Not done the lamb in it yet, because I'm a bit worried that perhaps I'll reduce the lamb down to nothing.
So I've never actually tried lamb in a slow cooker, but we'll put it in the ovens and it'll be long, slow cooking. So slow cookers, I would imagine it'll be absolutely fine.
Fantastic. And you do roast dinners here, don't you? And obviously on the Sundays it always packs.
Sundays are one of our busiest days here.
Fantastic.
So
fantastic. I must come down to it. The catering industry has really boomed in the last sort of 20 years or more, and more shows on television. All the time. Obviously, you've got a Bake Off, you've got this, you've got that, and you've got the other, and you're going all over the satellite TV as well. There's all Food Network and everything as well. But I feel less and less people want to spend time in cooking a good meal. As a successful businessman in the catering industry, how do you feel about it?
For me, the reason that people don't spend that time cooking anymore is because they don't have it. With all the sort of day-to-day jobs that they have, obviously we're now working longer hours, and you've got all your family, that side of stuff, so you don't have the time to do it. There's too much activity going on day-to-day, and it's kind of a bit of a skill set that's been lost now as well through generations, because you've got the supermarkets providing pre-cooked dinners. Stick in the microwave, job done, thank you very much.
Exactly.
Which is a big shame,
Yeah.
and has killed or is slowly breaking down the industry as well.
I think the celebrity chefs are noticing that as well, aren't they? As well, you've got Jamie Oliver who's just campaigning for these sugar tax. You've got a lot of other sort of big sort of people as well, obviously campaigning against actually having the fruit and veg that is actually looks like fruit and veg, rather than having the straight stuff in the supermarket as well. They've been campaigning about it, so I think there is a real push by them as well to actually encourage people to cook a little bit more.
Yeah,
you know,
and it needs to happen for. Is something that will get lost otherwise if we don't. So the fact that you've got these celebrity big names pushing this forward is absolutely superb, and I support all of their decisions.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, this is obviously the most important question of all. Now, there are customers, there are competitors doing what you do out there. Yeah, there are other businesses doing it as well. Why would a potential customer choose you, and what sets you apart from the rest of them?
Great question. So, for me, one of the reasons we set up was local. Local produce, local ingredients, local company. So one of my big things is that sort of local push. Alongside of that is obviously it's the quality that we provide. So if you're coming to us and you're sort of planning a wedding, we won't just talk to you about your catering. We also want to know the day-to-day running of your wedding day, so we know who's doing what, when and where. So we need to know your other suppliers, we need to know the timings that you want us to be doing specific things. So we don't just scratch the surface, we dig deep into the event and go, how's it all going to work? And we look at that and help and advise those decisions. When it comes down to the outside events, we want to find out what is the event, what are you trying to achieve from the event, what do you see, and we will then build up the menus and the whole sort of the atmosphere, so the ambience around that particular event.
Oh, okay, cool. Hence
Ambience Catering
solution. Yeah, exactly. So it's actually drilling down. When you're doing a wedding, you are one of the guests. You are the main function person. You want to be remembered for what you've done that day, and it's just as important as the vicar, as sort of the stag and hen party the night before as well. You know, them to not worry about what they're doing on their wedding.
I mean, the wedding days and that it's about them, and it's how we can showcase them and what they want. It's not about what we want, but we need to make sure that there's the healthy balance, that we're providing a great plate of food that they've selected. So when they talk about the wedding in the future, they're going to go, and the meal was fantastic. It's one of the biggest parts of the day, so let's make sure it's the best.
I mean, again, still one of those classic marketing tools is word of mouth still. You know, word of mouth, putting your adverts there all over the place, just making sure you're seen, but obviously that word of mouth and that referrals is one of the most important things still today, you know, and it still works. You've got the referral bit on Facebook, you've got the referral bit in the papers as well, you've got all these testimonials. When you get a happy customer, they'll tell someone else. You know, and that's basically what a business needs. Well, Gary, thank you very much for this interview, and
thank you very much.
Cheers.